Now, V3 is a crazy strategy. Basically tells you when to buy and sell. All right. And as you guys can see here, this is an open trade. So this is what it would look like, right? This happened right before market close on Friday. We have stop loss, we have TP1, TP2, TP3. And as you guys can see here, if we measure out from here, which is our entry price, to TP3, all right, we have 100 pips, and obviously that's literally ridiculous. And if we even go back to the past, you can see here, we do have TP1, TP2, TP3 hits, and then a stop loss for exit, all right, sell TP1, stop loss exit, long TP1, right? So this thing is a very profitable indicator. And then it has built-in features, basically trailing stop loss, all that stuff, which I will show you now. Now, keep in mind that these results are only for the month of December, which is literally ridiculous, okay? So let's check this out. 62 trades in the month of December, 83% profitable. And then for every dollar that you lose, you're literally making about $6 back. And that is risking 10%. Of course, we can risk 2% and you're going to obviously, or 3%, you're going to have less, percentage, right? 64%, right? Which is still insane. And then the profitability factor goes down, and then the profitability factor goes up, and then the drawdown goes down. And even if you're risking proper risk management with this indicator, 64%, okay, is literally ridiculous. And even if you wanted to risk 1% per trade, you're still winning 83% of your trades, right? So you're up 20%, risking 1% of your trade. Meaning if you would have started with $10,000, you would have made $2,000 in the month of December with 1% risk, okay? Which is really ridiculous, right? And me personally, like I said, I'm risking a lot higher because, we want those big gains, and I am not on a funded account. So does this work for a funded account? Yes, it does. You just have to make sure that you're using proper risk management, right? And all this is built in for you, okay? And keep in mind that these alerts are going to be in the Discord for free, so you can test them out, see how many times it hits TP3 and all that good stuff. So definitely check it out. So let's go ahead and go into the settings, right? I want to go ahead and give you guys a breakdown of the full V3, okay? And I have more video guides. What I plan to do is I plan to make a guide for each individual section. So for example, I'll make a video just for this, a video just for this, a video just for this. And the reason why I want to go ahead and do that is because they're going to be 2 minutes straight to the point videos where you can just watch it. Oh, I know how to use this. And keep in mind that this framework is going to be pretty much in all of our strategies, because stop loss inputs, money management, right? And then of course the ability to hook up to automated trader for the bots, okay, as well. So these tools are literally going to be crazy and automated as well, right? So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you get access to the actual indicator, okay, you're going to want to go ahead and actually come to where your indicators are, invite only scripts, and you'll be able to go ahead and see that there. Once you get access to the actual indicator, you're going to go ahead and add it to your chart. Once it's on your chart, you're going to want to go ahead and click agree. Okay. And once you click agree, you're going to be able to go ahead and see alerts. Now you will see them like this, where you're not going to see an actual strategy, but you'll see buy and sells visually on the actual chart. Okay. As you guys can see here, we have a sell, trusted sell, right? We have a buy here. So these alerts are very, very accurate as well. They have more to deal with the actual trade itself, but not trade management. Once you click trade management, that's when all the risk to reward and the ratios and how much you're trading and then trailing stop and all that stuff is in effect. So you're definitely gonna wanna click trade as soon as you go ahead and get access. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to go ahead and select what strategy you have, right? And I will go ahead and show you now. The best thing that you guys can do when you are changing your settings, right? And definitely want to make sure you're doing this on desktop as well. But I really like to do it like this, right? Because you can see the profitability factor and how it actually changes your settings, right? So what you can do is, right? Let's say if you wanted to go ahead and come down here and put just longs only, it's only going to go ahead and essentially take buys, and it's not going to get you into any sells, right? Notice how that sell disappeared, but remember that the profitability and the percentage also changes as well, right? But because I have this settings guide on the right side, I can still see how by me changing to shorts only or changing anything in this area right here will affect this specific chart, right? So as you can see here, we would have been more profitable in this situation running just shorts only instead of longs only. To up 200%, and then longs only, we are only at 1%, right? So you can literally build out a strategy straight to your specific style and how you trade as well, right? So for me, I'm going to keep it for both right now because remember, these are going to the Discord as a Discord bot for free members. So of course, I want them to get in and out, buy and sell manually. They're going to do it manually. Remember that all of this is supposed to be automated with automatedtrader.com, right? But if you're taking these manually, of course, you want to go ahead and know, all the rules and regulations, which I will go over now. And as well as this, right? So this area right here, this is the visual recap section. I kind of passed this because it's kind of self-explanatory. If you're, trading on a specific chart, you can change the color and then you can change the size, normal, and it's basically going to give you a bunch of great stuff. So depending on your risk management and you're taking manual trades, it'll go ahead and tell you exactly what your position size should be on this pair. So for example, if you're risking 10% per trade, right now you're doing 11 lot with a basically a 10 you're risking $10,000 on a $100,000 account, and your lot size should be this, and your stop loss, right, and all that good stuff. So it's gonna tell you all of these things right here, except on a visual section, right, on a dashboard, right? And then of course, if you hit TP1, it's gonna say hit, TP2 hit, TP3 hit, so on and so forth. And then of course, all those can be set up as live alerts. Now, this is basically gonna go ahead and give you your active position visual tracker. And if you wanted to go ahead and make it full, longer, or short, or none, right? I have it on short. That's the difference. Now the initial balance, you can change it here, right? And what's happening is it's gonna change it for here. But if you wanted to go ahead and change the actual value here, then you can change your initial capital in the properties tab. Another thing to mention is you do not need to click anything here in the properties tab when you download this tool, okay? Now, this is on the 30-minute chart as well, if I didn't mention that earlier. Now, of course, you can change the colors of your buy and sell. If you want to go ahead and make it, red and orange, for example, you can go ahead and do that. Everything is fully customizable depending on what you do with your chart. Notice that, those change as well. Now, continuation signals, right? So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and put normal, it's going to change the settings because these are trusted sells. Like I said, we have a very different approach to when we are entering buys and sells. Okay, now keep in mind that this is still profitable as hell, but essentially it's not as profitable as the trusted sells. But check this out, guys. As you guys can see here, we have a sell. We're entering the trade right here. And then as well, TP1 already hit. TP2 should be hit once this candle closed. Now, this is another thing to mention right here, right? So we're on a 30-minute chart. It already hit TP, but there is no TP3 plotted here. But if you would have had this set up as a live alert, you would have already gotten out this trade if your final TP was TP2, because the simple fact is, obviously you can see here, TP2 was hit. So even though it has not plotted yet, it has to plot when the candle hits, but the system realizes and recognizes that you've already hit TP as soon as you touch it. So as soon as you touch it, you will be getting an alert to basically take profits on Automated Trader, and then also give you an update in the Discord chat and so on and so forth, okay? So let's go ahead and open that. Bing, bing, bing. Bear with me because there's a lot to go over. I will go over and also timestamp everything as well, so that way you guys can like jump in and out depending on where you are, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put this back to trusted sells, okay? And now for the stop loss inputs, okay? Notice stop loss is right here, okay? I will explain these new features that we have. All right, average directional range is gonna go ahead and basically get you on the volume of the previous candles, all right? And then length 14 candles, right? And then it's multiplying it by 2. So this right here, I wouldn't necessarily touch unless you're seeing obviously some different results. For me personally, I always go through different stop loss inputs, right? And I'll go ahead and show you right now, right? So this one right here, stop loss, if we have pips and points, then we're gonna go ahead and put the pips and points amount here. So notice that the stop loss from here to here, okay, in this trade now that's open, from here to around here, it's around 24, 25 pips, right? And that is because in the settings, for stop loss type, we have pips and points, and then if pips and points, 24 for stop loss. Now, let's say if I was to go ahead and make this 50, click OK, you should see this automatically update, right, with a 50 pip stop loss. So let's go ahead and measure from entry price to the end of stop loss. Check that out, 50 pips to be exact. So like I said, this system is very, very customizable, and it is going to change how many trades you take, right? Profitability factor, percentage of profitability, and net profit, right? So it's going to change all that. And still, even utilizing these settings right here, we're still profitable for the month, okay? Remember, you can lose more trades than you win and still be profitable as long as you're using proper risk management and you're not blowing the accounts, okay? And keep in mind that this area is going to change because I'm changing settings. So I don't want you to say, oh, this thing sucks because look at this. It's only winning X amount. It's only because I'm going over these specific values for you, all right? Now, this is a chop filter super trend, okay? So basically, essentially, and I'll go ahead and turn this on. I apologize. Let me go down here. Let me turn on the super trends. Right, and I'll go over that later in the video. But essentially, this is the lower time super trend, okay? And this is the higher time frame super trend. So we can also utilize these, for example, for stop loss inputs. So let's say, for example, you get in on a sell here. You're in on a sell. Notice it's red, right? Because up here, the higher time frame, right? And you can also change the, which I said, like I said, I'll go over this in a second. But you can change when the higher time frame is, if it's a 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever, and you can change that. But this is the high time frame, right? So right now on the higher time frame, we're bearish. So we enter these cells, and let's say we're in this cell right here, TP1, TP2, we have a runner. We're gonna exit on, let's say, a chop filter signal or a high time frame super trend signal. So we exit right here, right? So like I said as well, let's go ahead and actually see what that would visually look like, right? This one still profitable, right? But it's not as profitable. And then if we go to the higher time frame, right? And remember, this is all mix and match. You might find a chart where this strategy works better. You might find a specific time frame that this strategy works better, right? So keep in mind that this is all customizable. Try it out. Tell me what you guys think, right? We're still up 346%, obviously, with my risk management, right? But even if we go ahead and risk, 2% per trade, 53% per month, right? So still profitable, still hitting TPs, right? Because it's not necessarily getting you out of those trades right there. Those trades still would have been valid with the settings, which obviously you can see here. If we're hitting TP3s or TP1, TP2, stop loss, break even, all that stuff, we're going to be more profitable because we're losing less times. And then as well, when we do lose, we're not losing the full amount because we have different features, going in. Now, high and lows, right? So this is a very, very cool feature. And this is, for me, what I'm seeing as one of the most profitable, right? And let me go ahead and take off the clutter off of this chart really quick. My apologies. Turn off the super trend. So check this out, guys, right? So highs and lows, right? Highs and lows of a specific candle length, right? This is another stop loss input. Now, with this stop loss input, this is going to go ahead and give you a look back length of 21 candles. So essentially, if we are entering a sell here, it's going to look back on the past 21 candles, and at the highest point, that is where we are going to go ahead and put our stop loss. So out of the last 21 candles, our highest candle is right here, and notice our stop loss is right here. Now, this is a forever learning strategy, okay? Because of the simple fact is, this last 20 candles does not look like this last 20 candles, right? Because, for example, let's go ahead and actually just put the replay here. And I just want to show you guys what that TP3 looked like, right? All right, let's press play. My apologies, guys. I just want you guys to really get a big understanding of what we got going on here. Oh, I have it super slow. Okay, so check this out, guys, right? This stop loss is right here. Now, keep in mind, let me see here. Boom. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. Oh, this will be 21 right here. So check it out, guys, right? So my apologies. I had a little brain cramp, right? And I've been doing this. This is going to be one take, so that way you guys know that this is not me doing anything crazy. This is straight to the point, me doing what I have to do, and the indicator's doing what it has to do, right? So I was just confused because I thought 21 was over here, and I was like, oh, that might be a mistake. But obviously you guys can see here that the 21 candle is right here, okay? And I'm sure that there's a measuring tool. Obviously, let me see if I can measure from right to left. Oh, yeah, I could. All right. So look, let's go ahead and measure this, right? So let's measure from this candle right here, and let's go 21 candles. Well, it will be from this candle right here. My bad. I'm sorry, guys, because the entry price is the following candle. So it's going to be this candle right here, and then we're going to go 21 over. Boom, boom, boom. It's this candle right here. So check it out right here, stop loss, right? So what's crazy is like I said, this is a forever learning algorithm, because right here, as you guys can see here, stop loss is around 95 pips. But if I go, for example, to another, or let's say I just go back to exactly where we were, my bad. Those final candles, let's measure that final stop loss. Let me actually just get to the front here. My bad. I'm sorry if I'm making this video extra long. But there's a lot to learn with this indicator, guys. There's a lot to learn. And like I said, quite frankly, I'm still learning. But when you have the results down here, it's very, very easy, because you can just press up, down on the numbers until you find numbers that, you feel comfortable with, right? So let's go here, right? Let's go ahead and measure this stop loss from here to here. All right, this one is 98, 97, right? So this is a forever learning strategy, which is crazy. And as well as essentially with the highs and lows, it's always going to just have a look back length, and all this is customizable. So test it out, guys. But for me, this is one of the craziest inputs personally, because the simple fact is, for example, if I wanted to just actually add the actual last high of the last two candles, right? It'll change the stop loss of where this last trade is, right? So check it out. It's gonna go to the last high or low of the last two candles, right? And check this out. Look where our entry price is and look where our stop loss is, right? That's literally only a few pips, right? So like I said, this is a forever learning algo, because each chart is going to have different candlestick patterns, different candlestick movements, different price action, and so on and so forth. So, okay, let's go ahead and just add this back to 21. All right. Now, trailing stop inputs. Okay, trailing stop inputs. Trailing stop inputs are very, very important, because obviously this is a way for us to lose less. Now, break even to stop. Right? We wanted to put our stop at break even after TP1. Okay, now let me actually go ahead and go back to here because I do want to show you what that visually looks like as well. This trade obviously wasn't able to do it, but this trade I can show you guys. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and use the replay tool. Like I said, guys, this is going to be a long video, but I do think that this is a very, very profitable indicator. So you guys have to watch this video all the way through. Don't skip just because I'm prolonging, but because this is all valuable information, okay? Let's go. Oh, damn it. Okay, shit. All right, that was too quick. Let me go back just a little bit. Okay, notice that trailing stop. That trailing stop is moving, right? Let's go back here, TP1, and let's change this to percentage speed right here. Okay. So we have a sell. We have our stop loss here, which is the 21 last candles. We already went over this. We have TP1, TP2, TP3, 100 pips, right? So let's go ahead and press play. Let's see exactly what happens, right? So we have a TP, all right? Now notice that we still have a stop loss up here, but now you notice a TS, right? So this is our break even and our trailing stop. So as soon as we hit TP, and remember that, right? Right now, when you hit TP1, TP2, or whatever, it's going to show here. It's going to alert you immediately. It may not plot on the actual chart until the following candle, but you will still get an alert as soon as it's hit. But notice that once we hit TP1, we have a stop at break even. Now, break even right here, look at our entry price, right? You really can't see it because we have the close position open over the entry price, but our entry price is right here. Notice that the break even is not at entry price. That is because each broker has specific spread. All right. Now, break even, stop, offset, depending on where you have this, right? If I obviously place this at 0, the trailing stop will be directly at the entry price. Notice that. Now we go back to the entry price. So our break-even functionalities are stronger than most functionalities. We also have a trailing stop functionality, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this back to 5 because roughly that is where most brokers are going to be set. And then obviously you can move this up or down depending on where your broker, how much spread they're taking, right? Now, trailing stop after all TPs. So let's go ahead and press play to see exactly what happens when we hit TP3 here, okay? TP1 was already hit, and obviously you can see that here, right? We're gonna go down. Let's see, we're hitting, boom. All right, TP3 hits, okay? And then moving trailing stop, right? So let's go ahead and pause this, okay? So notice, which right now we would have probably just got wicked out of this trade, which I will show you that right now once I press play. But notice that there is a trailing stop, and you can also change this in the settings, which I'll go over right now. Let's press play, boom, right? Following candle. But keep in mind that as soon as it hit, it would have got you out the trade. If you're live trading, it's not gonna have to plot, okay? It's not gonna have to plot first. So there we have it, a sell, TP1, TP2, trailing stop, break evens, TP3, stop loss hit. Guys, this thing is powerful, all right? Now, when do you want your trailing stop to take effect? You have a bunch of different categories. All right, you don't want a trailing stop, that's fine. You don't want to break even, that's fine, right? Different strategies call for different measures. All right, since the beginning, after TP1, after TP2, after all TPs. Test this out, see exactly what results you guys are bringing back in the profitability factor and the percentage of winning, right? Because if I go ahead and move my stop loss to none, it's gonna go ahead and change your profitability factor, okay, guys? All right, we have a higher win percentage, I believe, in this situation, but let's see the profit factor if, let's see if it goes up or goes down, all right? Higher profitability factor if we have our break even because we are saving our losses, okay? Trailing stop, test it out since the beginning, so on and so forth. Now, trailing stop, once again, where is our trailing stop? So remember, trailing stop is only hit after TP3 on this chart, right? So if we want TP3 to get hit, okay, TP3 gets hit, our trailing stop gets triggered, and for right now, I have it as stop loss type, right? I have the trailing stop very similar, and I have it on the highest or the lowest of the last 7 candles. So when we have a trailing stop, it's going to go ahead and look back at the last 7 candles, and that's where you're going to have your trailing stop, right? Now, keep in mind that if you keep on going down, it's going to go ahead and trail you, so on and so forth, right? So instead of having a trailing stop back up here, right, which you can always do, the trailing stop is going to go ahead and basically just be the higher or the lowest of the last 7 candles, or however you decide to go ahead and test out, right? So for me, this is all just me playing around, right? You can put this to the last 2 candles and it will move the trailing stop to the last 2 candles, so on and so forth, right? But this is a very, very customizable and very, very dope way for you to have your trailing stop. You can also have ATR, average directional range, keep stop loss distance, or pips and points. So if you want to go ahead and just have your trailing stop 15 pips after TP3, right? It's going to change the profitability factor. It's going to change where we're entering and exiting a trade, right? But definitely test it out. I hope that explains the trailing stop inputs, okay? Very, very simple. Now, favorite part, take profits. You can't make money if you're not hitting take profit, right, guys? So let me go ahead and actually go back to my settings so that way we can at least see exactly what settings I had. All right, that's cool. I don't even mind, because you guys understand that we're changing things around, so nothing's gonna be like the beginning of the video, okay? Which I already have those saved, and I will show you exactly how to save those settings as well once you find some good settings. Now, take profits. Now we have risk to reward, okay? Risk to reward. So what does risk to reward mean? Let's actually go here and go directly to the real-time chart. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we're back to the real time here, and maybe we can see how some of these functionalities change here. So if I go to risk to reward, it's going based upon your stop loss. So if your stop loss, right, is 9 pips, 10 pips, depending on, obviously, this is a learning factor, so you don't really know how big your stop loss is, but remember, your risk management is always going to be the same. So if you're risking 10% on a $100,000 account, it doesn't matter if your stop loss is 5 pips or 50 pips, it's still only going to risk $10,000 per trade, or in this case, since it's 2%, $20,000 per trade, right? So on and so forth. All right, or 2%, $2,000, right? Obviously, 20% would be 20,000, right? So TP values, right? Risk to reward. Let's go ahead and see how that looks. Now, let's see if it changes here, because remember, it may not even open this cell, okay? Because we still are in a previous cell, right? Because risk to reward, right? So we're in a previous cell. So the functionalities change, but now I want to go ahead and at least show you this. We do still have an open trade here, okay? Remember that when you change things, it's not going to enter you in the same trades, right? Because you're changing functionalities here, right? Now, risk to reward, okay? What is risk to reward? All right, very, very simple. Depending on how much you're willing to make is depending on how much you're willing to risk. Depending on how much you're willing to risk is depending on how much you're willing to make. Now, right here, as you guys can see here, in the risk to reward section, okay, we have risk to reward, and then we have, if you choose, pips and points. And then PS stands for position size, which I will go over in just a second. Now, we want it to keep a runner, and we want it for hit TP2, TP3. Let's say we only want TP1. You can go ahead and literally remove that, and it'll remove the other TPs and only have TP1, TP2. All right, for now, I'll go ahead and keep it like this, so that way I can have some visualization to show you guys exactly how it affects the charts, right? So pips and points, risk to reward. If you have risk to reward on, let's go ahead and actually turn this on. Risk to reward. What is TP1? TP1 is 0.5. The easy way to do this is to measure, okay, your stop loss, and then essentially divide it by 0.5. Multiply it by 0.5, right? So that's half of your stop loss value. So for example, if your risk to reward is 0.5, that means that it's half of your stop loss value. And right here, I can go ahead and see here, entry price, and your stop loss is, let's see here, 174, right? Or 74 pips, whichever you would like, right? Because you can go based upon the right number or the left number, right? Depending on what you're doing. And then if we go ahead and measure our entry price to TP1, it's going to be half of that value, right? Around 86. So it's half of the 170, 100 and whatever, right? I'm not going to get it to the exact number, but of course, your stop loss. Now, where's your TP2? Right? Entry price, TP1. Now, where's your TP2? Your TP2, if we measure that, is the same 1-to-1, right? You see, around 170 something, right? 174, exactly where it was. It is a 1-to-1, right? Because right here, we have 1-to-1 of your stop loss input. Now, where is your TP2? 1-to-2, right? So TP2 would be a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio because you're risking, okay, 1, and then if it hits TP, that's a 1-to-1, and if it hits your TP2, that's 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. So that's an understanding of risk to reward ratio. Now, of course, that if you go and you select pips and points, now where are your TP values, right? Let's go ahead and go to that. Notice right here, your TP1, right? Remember, this is all fully customizable. Your TP1, 25 pips, your TP2, 50 pips, and then your TP3, 100 pips. And then if we measure this, right, from entry price to TP3, it's about 100 pips, right? This 50 pips, this 25 pips, right? So this is going to give you your direct TP inputs, okay? And remember, like I said, this is a learning algorithm. So if you choose risk to reward, everything that the high and low is producing, you're going to have always a different risk to reward ratio. All right, your risk to reward ratio stays the same, but the amount of pips that you are going to get per trade changes because, like I said, it's a forever changing algo. And then if you obviously pick pips and points, it's going to be a stagnant. Now, position size, right? What is position size? Position size is how much you want to close, right? And this comes down to automating your trades. This is strictly for automated trader, right? If you hit TP1 on this, okay, you are going to close 30% of your trade. If you close on TP2, you're going to close 10% of your trade, all right? If you hit TP3, you're going to only close 2% of your trade. And because you have runner on, it's going to go ahead and leave you a runner. But remember, you also have your trailing stop, right? So by you changing on and off runner, it's going to be it's not going to close you at TP3, right? It's not going to close you at TP3. It's going to go ahead and keep you running. But of course, we want to catch those runners. And because we have trailing stop, I don't want to even close the full position at any of these points, right? Obviously, we want to secure a bag in the beginning. And if you want to go ahead and close 50%, right, of your trade at TP1, you can do so. But remember, it's going to go ahead and affect your numbers here. Now, general alerts, okay? General alerts is very, very important because depending on what happens here and triggers here, it's going to go ahead and send you an alert to TradingView, okay? And if we look at the alerts log, right, stop loss hit, right? But obviously after TP was hit, right? Because TP1 was hit, stop loss, moving stop loss. So all of these alerts can be assigned here. And if you only want to go ahead and get a buy alert or a sell alert, you can do so if you don't want to be updated for stop loss and TP inputs. But this is plug and play into automatedtrader.com. And this is very, very self-explanatory. If you do this and you set up an alert and you don't have these on, if it hits TPs or stop loss, it's not going to send the alert to the Discord chat or to your automated trader. Now, entry signals filter, self-explanatory as well. Okay, absolute confirmation, which we always have on. And then as well, use as selected. We don't have this on right now, but when enabled, all selected filters need to line up to validate a trade, right? Right now we have this on this because, like I said, we basically test for specific charts for specific pairs, and depending on what you get, you know, and what you see, that's what you go by. But if, let's say, you don't want to take a trade, right? This trade was given on Friday, but let's say I go ahead and click filters for disabling the trade on Friday. Boom. It's not going to take this trade on Friday, right? Very, very simple. And then let's say if we don't want to trade Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesdays, for example, because that's not your strategy for whatever specific reason, you can do so as well. And check this out. If we remove those, you know, we're not getting as much net profit, but check out this profitability factor, right, guys? The profitability factor, profit factor, everything goes up. You're taking less trades and you're straight to the point, right? So like I said, this thing is literally a beast. For now, we're going to keep this all on, right? Now, for the TS oscillator settings, right? So for the TS oscillator, this is basically going on this indicator right here. Let me go ahead and it's with the momentum oscillator, which is this one right here. So essentially, we built in this oscillator within this specific indicator as well and strategy. So depending on where we are on this specific oscillator, it's going to go ahead and enter you and execute a trade, right? And for me, I actually have that on because the oscillator is a good indication on whether or not the trend is bullish. So guess what? I have the TS oscillator multi-time frame filter and I have it checked on. And check these results out. If we go ahead and turn this off, let's see how it changes, right? A little bit less, so on and so forth, right? Multi-time frame, and this is gonna let you see this oscillator on the multi-time frame so you can see what it's doing on the higher time frame. We don't have that selected on. And then the chop filter, multi-time frame, the oscillator squeeze filter. So basically, like I said, this is anything that has a filter is gonna change your profitability factor, right? So now check this one out, right? You're up 9% in the last month, 23 trades, but every single trade 100% profitable just because we added the filter on. Drawdown 1%. Profit factor doesn't even have one because we never lost a trade, right? And if we look back into the past, what trades is it even taking, right? Let's go ahead and take a look, right? Buy, TP1, TP2, TP3 hit. Sell, TP1, TP2, TP3 hit. Sell, TP3. So this is just an oscillator, right? And this is actually a setting that maybe we can have on a specific account, right? 100% in the last month and took 23 trades. And obviously all of these have hit TP, right? Just by me making that one change, right? So for now, I'll go ahead and click that off, right? Now, the TS oscillator, right, is based upon some moving averages and so on and so forth. And this is pretty self-explanatory here, right? We have the EMA, the SMA, and then the WMA, right? So if you guys go ahead, and this is the length, right? So for the SMA, EMAs, obviously you guys know this if you guys are in the previous indicators, right? But pretty much I don't necessarily touch any of this. I use it to default. But remember, guys, for the most part, you don't necessarily even need to go ahead and know much about this. Let's say if you just want to go ahead and test the 200 EMA, you can go ahead and just type in 200 and then see exactly how it changes your profitability factor on the bottom, right? So because this is a bug-free and it updates anytime you change something, you don't necessarily even need to know much about the way these tools run. Of course, I'm trying my best to explain it. But for example, if you wanted to go ahead and just change anything, you can go ahead and do that. For example, the EMA was 50. Now I put it to 25. We're having some different results, not as good as before. And if we want to go ahead and just see the 25 SMA, right, small moving average, right, which I have a lot of videos as well explaining what each individual thing is and, you know, what an EMA is, what an SMA is, trend lines, candlestick movement, price action, so on and so forth, right? Now, this has nothing to do with basically the main indicator. This has to do with the oscillator and actually showing the visual things on the oscillator, because if you click this, then obviously it's going to show visual updates on the actual charts itself, right? But we have those turned off. So that's perfectly fine. I'll go ahead and remove those, right? Now, the multi-time frame super trend, we kind of explained this earlier in the beginning of the video, and the multi-time frame, right, is the super trend, right? And you can also turn these on as filters as well. Let me go ahead and just go here. Let me actually go ahead and put my previous indicator back on here, so that way we can have my specific results. As you guys can see here, my results are back. And if you don't know how to actually save an actual indicator or save a template, all you have to do is press these four right here, save indicator input, remember all of this stuff, and it's going to remember all your charts, all your settings in your specific indicator. So that's another freebie right there. So as you guys can see here, I am back to my specific settings, so that way we can keep this video rolling. All right. So, right, let's go ahead and turn this on. As you guys can see here, now we're going to see a visual super trend on the chart, right? Chop filter super trend, and then this is the higher time frame super trend. How you can notice is one ball is bigger than the other. Pause. So check this out, guys. So remember, we can also set these up as filters as well, meaning that if it is a buy, the higher time frame filter also has to be a buy, okay, or the lower time frame, so on and so forth, right? So right here, notice that it took this, right? Let's look at what it changed in the strategy. Okay, if we have the higher time frame filter on, the profitability factor goes on, the percentage of profitability goes down, the max drawdown goes up just a bit, but we are taking, we're winning more trades essentially, even though the profitability factor, right? So let's actually go back. I want to show you this, right? So notice this is 185 trades. And if I just go ahead and remove the filter by pressing Control Z, all right, we have a bit more trades, all right? And actually, to be honest with you, we actually found higher probability settings just by turning on the higher time frame filter, and then so on and so forth. If you want to go ahead and have the chop filter on as well, you can go ahead and turn both of those on, and we're just going to be taking less trades, right? But profitability factors goes on, percentage has decreased a bit, but so on and so forth, right? Because it's entering and exiting trades, and it's sometimes not taking trades. That's why we see this jump from 191 trades to 168 trades, okay? So you can go ahead and use the super trend filters, right? And then the look back length, okay? My mother is calling me. I will call her back. So obviously this goes along with this. And then if you're talking about the higher time frame, you can change from auto time frame to, let's say, the 4-hour time frame. And then it's basically going to go ahead and show you only trades, right? So notice that the 4-hour started. Profitability factor hasn't really changed, right? The trend is right here. This is where it turned into a bullish market right here on the higher time frame. So it's going to go ahead and chime into other charts and other time frames, so to speak, to go ahead and show you that. All right. Let's go ahead and go down here. Now, these are the main settings that are going to be able to go ahead and get you like main filters. For me specifically, I'm not necessarily touching any of that stuff right now. All right. Right here, this is the daily open filters, all right, open lines, and this can be shown if we go ahead and right here, right, TS bot, daily open line. So right here on the daily, it opened here, and then you can see super trend and, you know, where the market closes and all that good stuff. These are more visual indications when we start going lower down here, right? And obviously you can change this, so on and so forth. And then as well, you can go ahead and add filters. So if you change the filters, let's change the, right? Boom, 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 right? So for example, we're going to only enter sales if it's lower than the daily, or if it's higher than the daily. That's how it kind of works. For now, we're going to go ahead and turn this off, and so on and so forth with the weekly filter. If you wanted to go ahead and see where the weekly was or where the monthly is, you can go ahead and turn those on. Now, VWAP, multi-time VWAP, I will have to make a specific video on this right here because VWAP is not necessarily my trading style. But for example, you can see it right here. If I go ahead and remove that, it'll go ahead and remove from the charts as well, right? Boom. So this is just an extra added layer, right? And then as well, very similar to the way the daily entry, the daily and the weekly, depending on whether or not it's under or over, it's going to go ahead and take a sell. So you can go ahead and use that for the VWAP as well. And you can go ahead and filter it. And like I said, once you click filter, it will change the profitability factor and all that good stuff. But we're not necessarily going to tap in too much to that because I do not use that. All right. High time frame MA filters. All right. Very similar to what we had up there. You can go ahead and have time frame 1. And then you can also add it to a filter as well. And then here you can go ahead and change your filters and your MA length, right? Obviously, this goes with moving averages, right? And you can go ahead and test all of these things right here. If I want to go ahead and get the labeled, right? This is more for visual things right here. It's going to go ahead and add some filters on there for you. But we're not going to dive too deep into the overlay aspect of it, right? Because we're just going over the settings that are going to affect your indicator, right? Your indicator. All right. Session display. If you're in a specific area, you can have it match your time frame, and then it's going to show you your past history. You can have your look back length and pre-session range as well, which is basically going to go ahead and put some boxes around you. Let me go ahead and remove the super trends because I like a clean chart, so I don't even like to have any of these filters on, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and do that. We don't want no MA levels, nothing. But essentially, right, it's going to go ahead and show you your history. And then if you go ahead and put show London, London is going to be green. And then let's say, for example, New York red. If we press OK, we should see it change, right? So it's going to go ahead and overlay because obviously you can go ahead and see when the trades start. So obviously the London goes into the New York session. And essentially, let's go ahead and go down here. You can get a good visualization, right? So for example, with this specific chart right here, the London session is mainly for GJ, right? So let's go ahead and just show the London session, and then you can pick the time frame depending on obviously where you have on your chart. So let's go ahead and go to America. Well, actually, let's go to exactly where I'm at, which would be, I believe, Chicago, and I'm in the Midwest right now. So, all right. So check this out, guys, right? So it's going to be very cool. So it's going to go ahead and box you where your London session is. And then any signals that you want to just have during the London session, you can go ahead and filter them as well. Right here. Boom, boom, boom. Let me close this. And I appreciate you guys for watching this. If you guys stuck around right now, use code V3 for V3 Beta, $1,000 off, lifetime membership. Support the channel, hit a like button, you know what I'm saying? But let's say you only wanted to get strict entries. It's only going to enter you the trades that are in this box, okay? So very, very crazy, very, very crazy tools. Changes the winning percentage as well. And of course, it's also going to help you out with your alerts. And then so on and so forth with Tokyo session and, you know, any session pretty much as well. Now, these are also just labels. We don't need to go on this. You guys can play with this. This is Fibonacci level, session levels, start, end. But guys, this is V3 jam-packed. And guys, if you guys do not know, we're going to go ahead and give you guys some free alerts. Let me go ahead and go to my Discord bot for NAS just to show you guys what we're working with. All right, simply amazing results. So if you guys want to take advantage of my settings, my my next few videos are going to be strictly signal related. All right, we're going to find some time frames on the 1 minute. Right now, I'm finding higher probabilities on the 30 to the 45. And even if I wanted to go ahead and run these on the 30-minute, let's see what the results are. They're going to be different, right? All right, so not as high, not a higher profitability, still profitable, right? I find the settings. Don't worry about finding on a specific. Why do you want to trade the 1 minute if we know that the 45-minute is way more profitable, right? So this is for NAS. And then let's go ahead to my US 30 1 hour chart. All these will be linked in the description, guys. I promise you guys, this is going to be crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys want to go ahead and tap in and know my settings video, I'm going to go ahead and link it right here as well. So tap in with me, guys. We're literally about to make some bread. And the last month, 51 trades, US 30, 92% profitable. For every dollar you lost, you would have made $46. Only 9% drawdown. All right, guys. No indicators right now are beating us. No strategies are beating us. And that's word to my mama. All right. Hit that like button. All right. Follow TS. Follow the journey. Get Automated Trader. Let's go. Peace.